Hey guys, welcome to today's One Punch Man the Strongest Southeast Asia series. Today we're going to talk about a very exciting topic, which is the Zombie Man core. I understand that Zombie Man is not out yet. The reason that we're starting early on this is firstly because we do have some rumors running around that Zombie Man is going to come next month in November, which is very likely. And another reason being that since we're transitioning from the Child Emperor era slowly into the Zombie Man era, I just wanted to make sure that everyone who watches my video knows who to put resources into so that they don't end up wasting resources on characters that doesn't fit with Zombie Man's lineup. So of course, to start off the video, we're gonna start with Zombie Man's skills. So for his normal attack, he has 120% attack damage with 100% probability to inflict injury, and when followed up deals an additional 100%. So that is actually the strongest injury in game so far. And then for his passive, this is very interesting because it does fit Zombie Man's character in the anime, which is whenever he dies, he doesn't actually die. He deals 60% of his attack as extra damage, and he will revive himself every time in the next turn. And it can be triggered at max 4 times. And if you get Zombie Man into 5 stars, it can trigger 6 times. And then that brings us to his ult, which is attacking a single target 5 times, dealing 240% attack damage, and meanwhile healing the entire team for 100% of his attack damage. So this puts him, puts Zombie Man's identity on the team to be a single point breakthrough character to kill tanks whenever your core damage dealer like Golden Ball is unable to deal high amounts of damage to one single target, as well as a team healer. Then that brings us to the most exciting thing, which is his core skill. So Zombie Man's core skill is that you would receive 2 energy for any injured character on the enemy team, or a tenacity given character on our team. So that is 4 energy per turn. As we can see, you can't get 8 energy in the first turn like Child Emperor. However, it's a very sustainable way of getting energy, and in this way you're making sure that only the most important characters in your lineup would actually use ult, instead of when you go with Child Emperor, because every one of your character would use ult, and some of them might not be worthy of using ult if we had the choice. Another effect of the Zombie Man lineup is that whenever any character in the game takes action, everyone heals for 4%. Of course, that's everyone on your team of max HP. So this is a really important characteristic because let's say if 12 characters all take action, that means in one turn, each character on your team could actually heal for 48% max HP. So that makes them very hard to kill, and that makes it part of the reason that Zombie Man is so OP when paired against Child Emperor cores, because as long as the Child Emperor core lineup can't kill off a Zombie Man lineup, when it gets to turn 2 and turn 3 and Child Emperor cores would run out of energy, and it's like Zombie Man's lineup would just dominate. As we can tell from the core skill, the key to this lineup is a reliable tenacity character and a reliable injury character, so that you can get the max 4 energy per turn. So one important mindset change is the ZMLU. For the ZMLU, the pace is significantly lower, and speed is not the sole determining factor anymore like it is in a Child Emperor lineup. Therefore, our speed 1, speed 2, and speed 3 is vital. We want to make sure that all of them can actually use ult in the first turn. Well, now let's see how we can design the lineup from scratch. Well, let's put in Zombie Man first. I don't have him yet, apparently, so let's put Sonic in place of him. Let's consider Sonic as Zombie Man. So we always put him at the front row center because it doesn't matter that he dies. So we just want him to die as many times as he can, because apparently whenever he dies, he deals 60% of attack damage on the enemy team. And we want Zombie Man to go with primal attack set. So with that, he deals a significant amount of damage, and whenever he uses ult, he actually introduces a very high amount of team heal. So once we put in Zombie Man, we need to build the entire team around one and one only damage dealer. The reason being that Zombie Man's lineup has a requirement of 3 grapplers and 1 duelist. And Zombie Man himself is a duelist, that's why we put Sonic in place of him. Thus we will need 3 extra grapplers. Therefore, we only have 2 slots left that are non-grapplers. And we do know that before Garou, there is no team attacker who is a grappler. Therefore, if we want team attacker, we need to put non-grappler characters. And the reason that I'm saying that we only put 1 damage dealer is that you always need to secure a slot for Dr. Genus. Reason being that upon reaching 5 stars, let's just check out his passive. He would increase attack of allies who recovered HP by 30%. And in the Zombie Man lineup, since HP is always recovered in the first 2 turns, he just gives the attack boost to everyone in the lineup, and that is super helpful. On top of that, he doesn't really eat up a lot of resources, and he doesn't even need to use ult. So now we've locked in Dr. Genus as well as Zombie Man. For the other non-grappler slot, we really have only 4 choices. So those are the core damage dealers. What I would say is that there are only Golden Ball, Atomic Samurai, Tatsumaki, and King. Now my recommendation is that at tier 1, you have Nuclear King and Nuclear Tatsumaki. So King is super versatile, and he has the best survival as well among all the characters. Whenever he unlocks a talent in Talent 3, he has 50% chance of unyielding. And in the Zombie Man lineup, unyielding is everything because you can then heal up and get to a healthy HP level, even if you were about to die. Well, on top of that, he locks energy, so that we already know. So in a Zombie Man lineup, if you have Bang and Garou as support for King, since Ban would actually trigger Tenacity passively without using energy, so that gives 2 additional energy, and Garou would actually be able to follow up passively with Internal Injury, so that gives an additional 2 energy, putting the total energy at 7. So King's max damage comes only when you have 6 energy, and Zombie Man lineup is very good in terms of giving him that energy. So that is Nuclear King. The next up is Nuclear Tatsumaki. This is only complete with the Metal Knight. So for this, we want to swap Dr. Genus with Metal Knight. Having 3 injuries on the opponent gives Tatsumaki. Well, unfortunately, I don't have her. Having 3 injuries on the enemy team, we can actually see that she gets a boost of 90% of crit damage, and if you get to 5 stars, that becomes 120%. So that's really a beast, and she's the best damage dealer for a very, very long time. Well, in tier 2, we have Nuclear Golden Ball, which is actually my favorite lineup. This is due to the Golden Ball's ability to be explosive with his 125% ult damage plus passive without even taking any SSR Omni shards. This would free up the extreme training resource for Carnage Kabuto. Believe me guys, you will never regret putting resources into Carnage Kabuto. And just like Nuclear Tatsumaki, we have some level of flexibility on who else to put on the team. But with like Nuclear King, you have very limited character choices because you need to give him 7 energy each turn. Well, last but not least, we need to talk about choosing the right tenacity and injury characters to keep the team's energy rolling. So first we need to realize that Speed 1 and Speed 2 must be a combination of one injury character and a tenacity character. So there are 2 types of injury character. One is with injury with ult, and the other one is injury without ult. So Zombie Man himself is actually an example of injury without ult. So if he uses ult, he actually doesn't inflict injury. Therefore, if we put Zombie Man as Speed 1, the entire team would have no energy. For injury with ult characters, we have like Metal Knight, we've put it here. and a My Mask. So a My Mask actually gives injury no matter he uses ult or not. So he is quite useful against King because he makes sure that the team energy gets rolling whether or not he uses ult. And we also have Super Alloy Dark Shine. He's also a good protection character, and Tatsumaki herself. So for injury without ult, we have Zombie Man as mentioned and a My Mask. Well, it's the same story with Tenacity. So there are characters who gives Tenacity with ult, and there are others who give Tenacity without ult. So for Tenacity with ult characters, we have Tank Top Master, which we already have it here. And for Tenacity without ult, we have Ban, Deep Sea King, and Super Alloy Dark Shine. Because if you know Dark Shine, his auto attack would actually give him 10% Tenacity. So all these are viable choices. I'm making a distinction between with ult and without ult is because we need to choose between the two types depending on our energy allocation. For example, if you're using Metal Knight at speed 1, Tatsumaki, and then you also have Garu. So let's say you want to use, maybe not Tatsumaki, let's just say Golden Ball and Garu. So let's use Beast King to represent Garu right now. And then we want all of Metal Knight, Golden Ball, and Garu to be able to use ult. And if we use someone who uses energy to give Tenacity, like Tank Top Master, we would eventually run out of energy and Garu would have no ult to use, right? So we want to make sure that we have a balance between characters who need to use ult and characters who doesn't need to use ult. For the same reason, if you're already using Tank Top Master, Golden Ball, and Metal Knight, then you can't even get Garu because then Garu would only be at speed 4 and then you can't use ult with Garu, which makes him almost useless. So that's the idea with energy allocation here. Another thing to note is that there's a very useful tank character, which is Carnage Kabuto in this one. Actually, now that we're already here, let's just continue to build one around Nuclear Golden Ball. Firstly, because it's my favorite lineup. Secondly, also because I know that most of the guys that I play the game with actually intend to do Nuclear Golden Ball. So I'm not gonna assume that you have Metal Knight. So let's just put Dr. Genus. So in this lineup, it actually completes our expected Zombie Man lineup with Zombie Man at the center front. And then we have Carnage Kabuto here. Ideally, if Golden Ball can't survive, we would put Super Alloy Dark Shine at the back as well, just to offer extra protection. Because we don't really need Dr. Genus to survive that long. He just needs to survive until Golden Ball hits. Because his attack boost is triggered every time a character takes action. So when Golden Ball takes action, uses that attack boost previously, he would get another attack boost, and then even if Dr. Genus dies, that stays. So Golden Ball can get attack boost for 2 turns, even if Dr. Genus dies somewhere in turn 1. So he can definitely stay in front. So that's about how the lineup is going to look like. We definitely need Carnage Kabuto at the front because usually it's just that reflection damage that you're lacking to kill off the enemy team. And also his ability to regenerate combined with Zombie Man's ability to regenerate for the entire team is just insane. So I think this is my recommended lineup with Nuclear Golden Ball. So how this works in action is that we want our Tank Top Master to be at absolute speed 1. So we want him to be the fastest character in the entire team. Therefore, Golden Ball doesn't have to be very fast because he would already have Tenacity protection when the enemy team strikes. And then once Tank Top Master does his push thing, he gets Tenacity and then 2 more energy is generated. And in this case, we actually want Golden Ball to go second because when Tank Top Master has already taken action, Dr. Genus would actually give the attack boost to Golden Ball, and Golden Ball with 30% attack boost would just go off and deal a lot of damage. Then at speed 3, we want Zombie Man to use his auto attack. Why does he use his auto attack? Because Golden Ball doesn't give injury. So when Golden Ball strikes, we'll run out of energy, and our energy would be 1.
and then Zombie Man would actually use his auto attack that gives injury. So at speed 4, we want Carnage Kabuto to use his ult to make sure he stays in this game. And as long as he stays in this game, he can continue to reflect damage and do damage to the enemy team. Just an additional note, which is whenever Garou has come, because Garou is vital, I want everyone to get Garou in a Zombie Man lineup, because if you don't have Garou, you're just going to be trashed hard by anyone who has him. Let's say this is Garou. Then we want Garou to go speed 2, because Garou has team attack as well, and he inflicts internal injury, so that gives Golden Ball additional energy. So even Golden Ball being speed 3, he would have energy to use his ult. So that's like the good triangle that we have going on here, with Tank Top Master going speed 1, protecting both Garou and Golden Ball, and then Garou and Golden Ball doing the necessary damage to kill off the enemy team. Another character on top of Super Alloy Darkshine that we can use, as mentioned, is Amai Mask. The reason being, a lot of you who focus on PvE, your Amai Masks are actually quite strong. A lot of HP, a lot of attack damage. We can just use him this way. So if we put Amai Mask at speed 1, so regardless of whether the enemy has King, he would always inflict injury, which then gives energy for Tank Top Master to use his push. And then once he pushes, sorry for the bad naming, but you guys know what I mean. So after he does that, he would generate tenacity, and then Golden Ball can go at speed 3 with enough energy. For gears for Amai Mask, in this case, we would recommend Formal with HP and speed. So we don't need Amai Mask to do a ton of damage, and in fact, we don't want him to do a ton of damage, because if he kills off the opponent with one shot, then we won't have injury on the enemy team, and then we won't have energy. So we want him to go HP, we want him to go with Formal, because if he inflicts 2 injury on the enemy team, Tank Top Master can then try and kill off the 2 characters, and even if he doesn't, then Golden Ball would just come in and do the extra damage needed. So that concludes our discussion of the Zombie Man lineup. I know this is quite new and it's a long video. Feel free to leave any comment or any questions beneath it, and let me know what you want to see in the next video. Thank you guys so much.